docks. Then they'll back into the loading docks. They'll load or unload. Then they'll continue. They'll make a left turn, then exit the site once Courses Landing, make a right, go back to Route 40.
Okay. I'm wondering what's going on down in that corner down there. Right above the site plan, where, yes, right there. Because it looks like you have loading docks in here on the plan. I'm not loading docks.
You want to answer that question?
Yes. Initially, there's going to be one machine doing the high pressure pasteurization, and the docks shown on the north side are regarded as being sufficient. When we add a second machine, it's going to feed finished product toward the lower area, and they'll be shipping from that area. It gives them the possibility of receiving at one end, shipping at the other, and this is still being sorted out.
Okay, so at that point, my concern would be whenever that occurs, or if you're going to do it initially so that we avoid the problem, when a truck backs into that loading dock and comes out, we could have light issues or, with the housing in front of the site.
Do you mean truck lights, or you mean lighting on the vehicle or on the building?
Lighting on the vehicles, leaving that particular dock area.
Well, that will be bermed there above the level of the vehicle.
That's my question. I just want to make sure that we're dealing with that berming effect there, that when and if you decide to use that loading dock, that we have adequate berming there to not allow lights flashing across.
That is the intent.
Yeah, in fact, I think Brian brought that up in his letter. He asked us to increase the size of the berm intensity of the planting in that area.
We asked for a cross section.
We will provide that to the satisfaction.
Okay, like I said, I couldn't find in here any of it. And my concern was that I understand you're doing it for aesthetic looks from the person's house sitting on that lot looking in. My concern would be from the truck leaving that loading dock, if and when you decide to use it, that we're not splashing light on the back of that house every time they decide to leave.
Yes, we can earth and berm it above headlight level and put a dense evergreen planting.
Mr. Chairman, my question you sort of got the flip side of my question. My question was from the architects and the engineer standpoint. I understand, I think you already addressed the fact of where the office is, or why the office is located where it is, so they can actually rely on the activity coming in and out. But normally, if you were going to position a building on a site facing a major road and facing a sensitive land use, you would put the loading areas on the other side of the building. So I guess my question is, is there a particular reason why the building is situated where it is, and the facades that have the loading area are situated so that they face the road, where that activity is in plain view and where they face the residential use as opposed to other sides of the building?
Thank you.
There were a couple of reasons. For one, we have our stormwater collection pond at the other end, which we didn't want to impinge on that. And we thought we could control any negatives with landscaping and the berming at the end where it's shown.
I have a question about the circulation pattern of that. I mean, are the trucks going to be driving through the parking for the office building to get to that room?
It doesn't look like it.
How are they going to
Yeah,
get?
they have to.
They have to. How are they going to get to that second bed?
What I'm seeing, and you can correct me if I'm seeing it differently, but that truck trying to get to that lower loading dock is going to have to drive down that parking lot through that and make a K-turn back into the...
Yes. Here are the parking spaces here on the outside.
for employees.
For employees, so there's 29 parking spaces with a very wide area for the trucks to pass in the middle.
Plus, they're parked for the day. It's not like a supermarket.
My
You get a lot of traffic.
But I'm just, traffic flow-wise, and I'm not a traffic engineer, I'm simple and common when I talk about traffic, but it would make more sense to have that truck be able to pull through and into that site rather than have to do a K-turn. And I don't know the distances there. I was trying to graph it out here, but the distance from that building to that berm, is there enough room for him to make a K-turn in there? Is he gonna have to jockey it back and forth a couple times to get in there?
Not
Oh, no, the length,
There is enough room,
yeah,
yes.
there's a great deal of length there. More than, almost 3 times the length of the truck is included in there.
It is a pretty wide forward motion area, but it, you know, the trucks generally like to go, they like to be able to see where they're going. So the driver's side is where they will have to make a couple of motions here if there's a truck parked already.
I guess maybe a follow-up question, Mr. Chairman, would be, is it possible that the building is situated where it is on the site because it's anticipated that there, I see it's marked future development in the front of the site, that to position it in a different place or in a different orientation would consume more property that is potentially usable for or planned for future use? And if that's the case, is there a long-range plan for the use of the site that would involve additional buildings that we should maybe know about?
Well, there is future development,
Yeah, we
consideration.
showed future expansion on our site plan lightly, and of course, a site like this, the prime location was the pad sites along the 40
Oh, I see.
facility.
Right.
Colonico Brothers and Wildfire Farms don't need that heavy visibility, so they located their building away from Route 40 where future customers may want that visibility along the 40, so it makes sense to put the building towards the rear.
I guess the reason is because you have such a large site that to have the loading areas positioned where they are, it seemed like there would be opportunities to improve on that in terms of the building orientation, so that you don't have a loading area right behind a residential property. And, you know, landscaping is not, it may block the part of the light problem, but it's not going to solve the sound problem at all. And the berm would have to be pretty high to have any noise attenuation value. So I have my main concern is about that edge. You have sensitive uses right there, and you're putting the loading area right behind it. And then traffic, I guess the on-site circulation issue would be a secondary concern because there's no loop around the building. You have 2 dead ends basically at either side. So I guess those are my main concerns. You seem to have plenty of property to work with to be able to correct those situations, but my sense is you're trying to avoid using the front part of the site, and I just don't know if that's something we should be concerned about.
And I have a couple of concerns also. I mean, the higher the berm that you make, the less likelihood the trees that you plant on top of it are going to survive. It's harder. Any of the farmers in the room will tell you that the higher the berm, the harder it is to keep those trees watered. So you have a concern about the landscaping staying vegetated. And also, in terms of the, I have a concern about the safety of driving through the area where the employees and the workers in the building are going to park.
Well, the employees and the staff would be there, say, 8 till 4. Employees generally stop, put their car in a place, and that's it. So I don't think we're only dealing with 8 to 10, maximum 12 trucks on any given operational day. We're not dealing with any great intensity, Ms. Adams. It's sort of a slightly more than 1 an hour, and I don't think that's a very difficult thing to deal with. And I think the width of that, I don't know exactly what that width is, but it's quite substantial, so that the cars are totally out of the way of any truck. And I can't imagine that, it seems to me the Acme supermarket would be a lot more dangerous than this.